Yeah.
Nah.
What are you gonna do? And that guy still drives fast. He's like the postman off of Funny Farm. If anyone's seen that movie,
He goes by really fast.
He just
That's right.
throws the mail. I know. I wonder how he picks up the kids. And it's like one of the flat nose buses with the.
They're all parkour kids. They like jump off of buildings and
Well, I don't know.
Jump on the door.
slide on the side and jump through that hole in the top.
Well, it even has like the door for wheelchairs, accessible wheelchairs. So that scares me even more because it's a school bus.
Maybe they're
Well,
motorized.
they pick them up like they pick the wheelchair kids up like Knight Rider.
Yeah.
They just load them in.
The back
That's
goes-
awesome.
The back goes
That's
down.
awesome. It's like fucking Spy Hunter. And you're like the kids in the wheelchair, and this bus just barely slows down enough so they can get up the ramp.
Yep.
They load them in the back.
And that one car comes by with the oil slick. You're like, oh man! Oh, I love that game.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Signed In, episode 105. I am Jeremy Superpro 33.
I'm Craig Prof Dresser.
And I'm Sean Shonix.
How are we all doing?
Good.
Good.
Good Thanksgiving for everybody?
It was not bad.
Yeah.
Good.
I took too much time off.
Did you?
I should have done a little more work. Yeah. That's what I'm
Oh, because you were on vacation.
Yeah. Well, yes and no.
School's on break.
Yes, I wasn't teaching classes.
But
so.
you had stuff to do,
I did.
and you put it off.
I did. So I'll be doing it on Sunday.
I don't know anything about that.
In the past for our listeners.
It's just like,
Trippy.
whoa. I don't know what's happening.
All our high listeners just like totally knocked over their Cheetos. Because I know there are a ton of them, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
A ton, but what do you...
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you...
You know, they're like deadheads. They follow us around, which is convenient considering we are available on the internet.
They don't have to go
We need
far.
a symbol that's like the little Grateful Dead tattoo.
What
Of the little bear.
What about our little power symbol?
Oh, yeah, they could get that tattoo on their ankle.
See?
A little power symbol tattoo on your ankle?
Get turned on.
Ugh.
What?
I don't know. Now it's gross.
No? All right.
No, not at all. You had a good Thanksgiving too, Sean?
Yes.
All right. Uneventful?
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
I finished my third one today, so
Congrats.
thanks, divorced folks.
Yeah. There's no,
Because I'm glad that you couldn't hold your shit together, so I'm glad it ruins my life.
it's like, great. How many do we get to do this week?
Exactly.
Yeah. I was lucky enough that most of the in-laws and parents were out of town. So,
So there you go.
yeah, and I had to work, and that was fun.
Uh,
It was.
oh, you got to see all the crazy people?
Yeah. I mean, it's a skeleton.
Black Friday
it's
people?
a skeleton crew, so it's just kind of, hanging out and getting things done.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
I finished GTA 4 story.
Did you?
what the hell?
Why didn't you tell me that before the show? Now I want to do nothing but talk to you about
Because
it.
I wanted to capture your attention.
Damn it. But now I want to talk about it. Can we turn
See,
the mics off?
no.
What about that? I want to talk to you. Don't let me forget at the end of the show so we can talk about
Well,
it.
I can talk a bit more about it
Okay,
at the end of the
let's
show.
do that.
Yes.
All right.
Sweet.
I played a lot of new games, though,
Congrats.
this last couple of weeks. I played a little bit of Halo 4, like I promised, and you will not be let down if you expected me to not play much. I want to touch back a little bit on Need for Speed, which I think we can all talk about.
Okay.
I played COD, Black Ops 2,
Yes.
COD Blops
Deuce.
I think is what we've coined it as now.
That's correct. That's the official designation.
For no one's pleasure. And I
We're
played,
not the first ones to say that.
I played a little bit of... Okay, good. I played a little bit of Epic Mickey 2.
Uh-huh.
And the new Marvel pinball table for Pinball FX.
You need to get you need to send me a text when that shit happens.
I'm sorry.
Because this is
You
news
didn't know?
to me, yeah.
Okay, it came out. Civil War.
Oh, thanks.
Civil War table.
Awesome. Son of a...
It's out there.
Should we go home?
Yeah.
Hey, if you go to those add-on section in the marketplace,
I know how to get around my ex.
I'm almost done saying what I played. And the last Walking Dead finale.
Yes.
Oh, congrats. Episode 5. That's it. I'm done. Now you can go back to your little...
We got to get a mic. So we can just drop it, man. I'm bringing a mic.
I'm
mic.
done.
I got
Boom.
a mic at home.
I can
We
just smack it if you want me to.
No, not these mics.
All right. What do you guys got?
not much.
All right. I'm glad I let it off.
Actually, I've been playing some Rochard, and I've been playing To the Moon, and I've been playing.
Are you moving to a PC?
And none of these things are on the Xbox, unfortunately.
Exactly. What are you doing?
There's a Steam sale. And Kush, our good friend Kush over at Pixelated Sausage, treated me to a bunch of low-priced games.
Yeah.
So,
really?
yeah, I was playing a bunch of those.
Nice.
Some of those need to be coming over, though. Man.
I'm buying Hotline
Seriously.
Miami when I get home
Cool.
because it's on sale for $5.
It is on sale for $5.
And
You should do that.
as long as I make it home in the next 4 hours, I think I can buy it for $5. I'm doing that when I get home.
Good.
So
Congrats.
thanks.
No, but I did play a few things on the Xbox. Not a lot, but I got one indie game, Three Dead Zed, which was also reviewed by Kush. And then I also tried out the demo for Devil May Cry, and as I mentioned before, I completed GTA 4. So I put far too many hours into that. God damn.
And now you move on to Red Dead.
Yes, eventually, yes.
You have to finish that by the end of the year, I heard.
Yes. Yeah, well, that one's not going to be so hard. That one, that's not going to be so grueling.
It might be.
No, it's not.
When you start skinning all those animals.
I don't think
I'm not
it's
going to do all that side
I don't
shit.
think.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think it's going to be grueling.
That's the problem.
Because I never.
it's much more fun.
I
Yeah.
never completed Grand Theft Auto 4.
You didn't complete it either?
No.
Oh, that's right.
He didn't
That's right.
complete
You
it.
didn't finish it.
Completed.
I said.
I
I
never
was gonna let it go.
completed it. I completed it.
Well, at first I thought he said I never played it. I'm like, what?
I've never played it. I've only played
Never.
the DLCs. That's all I played.
That's more than I've played.
You know, Phil the guy saw I was playing online and asked if I was moving on to the DLC, and I said, no, I'm still working on a few achievements just in the regular game now that I've completed the story, and I'm not really sure if I want to spend money on this at all. However, if people want to send money to buy me DLC so that I can play it and complain about it, or not, maybe the DLC will change my opinion.
It might.
There you go.
Are you holding that for ransom now? Your opinion?
No,
No, you don't really care.
it just doesn't exist until
Until somebody else makes it happen.
until this condition exists.
Terrible.
It's hard to hold
Shameless.
something for ransom that doesn't exist.
That's true. I guess.
I know you try it all the time.
I
I
do.
get letters and notes all the time. I've got this for ransom, and I'm like, no, I don't.
You're like, nobody cares.
No, that doesn't exist.
My ideas are ransom. So what do you got, Sean?
Pretty much what everybody else has.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you'll chime in
some
then.
Walking Dead, some DMC, some Codfish, some
Codfish.
Need for Speed.
Of the DMC demo?
Yes.
Nice. I want to hear both of you guys talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do it simultaneously. Is that
Oh.
what you were wanting?
That would
If
mess
you
me
one
up.
of you could do one, and then no, I don't.
How
want
about-
at the same time?
Exchange sentences, like a build a story.
That sounds terrible.
So I played this demo.
No, I'll lead you.
You know, I'll tell you what,
lead
you
it.
guys
I'll
do the-
track.
you'll lead it.
Big
You guys do
time,
the
yeah.
indie games. I'm gonna write out a quick Mad Lib,
Oh man.
and then I'll just ask for your guys' words. To put
All
in.
right,
And
sounds
then
good.
I'll do the review, and I haven't even played it.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Should we talk about some indie games?
Let's do it.
Jesus
Talk
Christ.
about indie game.
Let's
'cause
do
I
it.
think I'm
Yes.
the only one who has one.
You are.
Three Dead Zed from Gentleman Squid Studio sells for 240 Microsoft points. Is an excellent little side-scrolling platformer wherein you start off and the whole you can basically play through the whole tutorial in basically a first level, I think, in the demo, and the tutorial lasts for quite a while, but not in a dragging sort of way. It's just that there's a lot of
lengthy.
fun. Yeah, it's just that there's fun stuff to do, and basically you're a zombie who's being trying to. People are trying to train you.
Okay.
And so you start off just as this regular zombie, and they're training you to kind of like turn on switches and jump over pits and attack things. And then they walk you under like this gene smasher, which then smashes you and combines you with your sons. Oh wait, not your sons. No, that's a joke in there. But with somebody else's DNA, and so then you're this fast running zombie that can jump off of walls but can't attack and all that. And then they splice you again, and you're this giant hulking lady zombie who smashes things but moves really slow but is really, really invulnerable. And so then you can switch between those different forms using the shoulder buttons back and forth. And so it's sort of a puzzle platformer in that respect, but less so in that the puzzles are the environment, and more so that the puzzles are choosing which character that you need to use. And it can be really fun to kind of be switching back and forth on the fly. They have a little display up there so you can tell which shoulder button you need to hit to get which specific character. Since there's only 3, you never actually have to hit more than one unless you goof and go the wrong
Gotcha.
direction.
Right.
Because you can just cycle around if you do goof. But it's a lot of fun. And then there's this mysterious character who is, kind of communicating with you as the scientists folks are trying to train you, saying that, suggesting all this ominous stuff that's going to happen, and then you kind of break out at the very end of the demo or of the tutorial, and then you're going to be running rampant and trying to free these cats that are also in this facility that are all wearing these tinfoil hats. And so, as you can tell, it's very, very serious.
Right.
Right. It's a drama.
It's all based on
tragedy,
science.
Actually. No, it's a comedy. It's a goofy comedy.
Aliens don't mind control the cats?
I don't know.
I want to buy the game now.
Because it kind of tells. I know, right? It's kind of a fun story idea.
I never got anything from the screenshots on this. I never got this story, so I should have downloaded it.
It's a lot of fun, and you can check out a video actually of some gameplay over at Kush's website, Pickle It Sausage, because he did a review of that, and that's what caught my attention. And I'm like, I gotta play this game, and it's pretty sweet. So it's great platforming. The controls work really well. It's got a very nice sort of animated design for the characters and all of that, which we're not seeing a whole heck of a lot of these days. It's tending to see a lot more pixelated stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of neat to see that. And they do some great animations with the characters, and they're very goofy and funny. And I highly recommend checking it out if you enjoy platforming.
Cool. Thank you, sir. Did you say it was 80 points?
240, and you're welcome.
I don't. Thank you.
I don't thank you.
Did you say it? And I didn't.
I did say it.
Did you say it like probably twice? And I didn't.
No, I said it once
Okay,
at the very beginning, like I usually
I don't know. And you are again?
Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Tom Turk.
All right. Let's move on then to that's it for indie. So we'll move on to XBLA. And what are you done? You're looking around like I missed something, so I did something wrong.
No.
All right. Nobody can see at home that you're distracting me completely. And now you've removed your pants. What is happening?
It's my house.
That's true. I can't argue with those. Them are the rules.
Those.
Dims are the rules.
Don't look down there when you say those.
No, no pun intended, but that's a hard line and you can't cross it. So. All right. XBLA, I'm going to start with an add-on if that's all right with everybody.
Okay.
With the Civil War table for Pinball FX2
Sure.
that just came out this week.
That was warranted. Come on.
I guess it's a kind of a rough table.
Really?
It is. It's probably it's more hardcore than the last couple of releases that they've had. From
Do
my
they, like impale your ball on a spike or something.
no hardcore skill wise.
sorry.
I'm sorry, not like extreme. Although it is a little bit extreme too. So it's also probably the most focused of the Marvel storyline tables that they've done, because there's a lot going on. I mean, they're using specific dialogue from the comics, that's like a lot of spoken dialogue that they're playing back, and so they're playing out the storyline as you play the table, including like news breaks that come in with footage that, and it's not like it interrupts gameplay. They just come up and like there's a TV screen in the background that's on the table, and you can see them running news stories about events from the Civil War storyline, like with the Peter Parker stuff, like
Him showing
unmasking himself.
Yeah, wow.
And so the game also kicks off a little weird. It's just a weird table overall. I haven't really decided if I love it yet, because I think it's going to take a lot more gameplay for me to kind of get familiar with what's going on. It is quite involved.
Maybe you should play the tie-in tables. That would help bring it together for me.
There should be a tie-in table. Like, here's all the extra stuff. If you don't play, you play these and then add your score in.
Civil War frontline table.
So what happens?
That's a comic joke there for
It is. We're getting a little
uninitiated.
inside.
Sorry.
So what happens is when you first start the game, it opens with a multiplayer, or not a multiplayer, a multi-ball. And what that is it's the explosion at the school, or the explosion going on.
Spoiler.
Right. That's how the storyline kicks off. That's what kicks off the Civil War. So for those that aren't aware, the Civil War storyline is Captain America versus Iron Man, and they're sides of the registration of mutants or superheroes.
Iron Man's trying to secede from the United States, right?
I don't think that's how it works.
No?
But he's being a dick. Is he seceding?
And then Abraham Lincoln and Captain America team up?
No, I don't think that's any
the
of that.
Civil War?
No, I don't.
Different Civil War.
It's different. Yeah,
Oh.
I think it's a little different.
Did they wear
So-
blue and gray coats?
No.
Sort of. So anyway, one of them wears metal. So they are on the different sides, and Tony Iron Man is pro government with
Yes.
wanting everybody to register, and Captain America's like no, and so then they're trying to like be all underground and kind of get pushed underground. So the storyline is that it opens with the explosion at the school, which it kicks off that whole thing. But the game opens with a multi-ball that you play.
Yeah.
And whenever you lose one of those balls, the multi-ball's over, and then you start the game proper. So whatever score you get in that multi-ball section, that automatically gets added onto your total every game you start. So when you start a new game, you can either choose to skip that portion and go with the score you've gotten previously, or do the multi-ball again. It's a little weird because you're automatically getting whatever you scored on that multi-ball. So, like, let's say you score 2 million points. You're getting a 2 million bonus on top of whatever your game is. But if you think you can try and get that better... So I don't know. You could just keep playing that multi-ball until you get a really crazy score, I would think, and then automatically add that in every time.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's a low. It's overall, I found it to be kind of a low-scoring table, so I don't think it's that huge of a difference.
Sure.
It's just a weird beginning and kind of interesting. Right. So when that happens and you either skip it or choose to play that multi-ball, you choose between playing Captain America or Iron Man. And then the missions that you play in the table are different depending on which guy you pick.
Nice.
And then the main impetus of the story is you're also recruiting people. So when you're doing the missions in the table, you're recruiting other heroes. And so then they're joining your side. If you do missions and fail them, like don't complete them, then they join the other side. So it's a constant battle of... You can also then get them back later by doing other things, but it's a battle of trying to get your forces and then, battling out. So all while you're playing just a simple pinball table. But it is a little more extreme because, like hardcore as far as skill wise, because there are ramps that are a little more difficult to hit on this table that I've found. They're also really unforgiving in some of the positions where the rollback comes back, so the ball goes right down the middle.
You said it was extreme. Have you tried slamming a do before hitting the ramps?
I have not tried slamming anything.
I would recommend it.
I do.
That's because you're helpful. It's a very fast table, so that is part of the difficulty. Everything's just moving really quick.
Right.
240 points. It is, if you enjoy all the other games, it's still going to be enjoyable. But like I said, it is a little more of a curve to it. I think it's just going to require a little more time, and I kind of want to play it a little bit more and trying to get my head around it because sometimes I like a little more of the casual side and like just knowing where I'm running through. And this seems like it's just if you want a challenge to sit down. Games went really fast too because I was losing the balls like crazy because it's just a lot quicker. So I recommend checking it out if you played all those other ones or if you didn't know that it was out. Like
I'm definitely going to check that out. That upsets me.
Don't be upset. It's still there. You can play it.
I know, but I want
right?
I want
it was just this
You were
week.
probably busy with things.
It's okay.
No.
I'm giving you excuses. Sean.
He's helping you out, trying
No.
You're denying it.
They didn't have it on the dashboard.
Did they not?
No. Does everything have to be on the dashboard for me?
That's how I knew Walking Dead came out.
Walking Dead did come out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that
The only reason
then.
I knew it was out because it said like new episode on the dashboard. And that's the only way I knew. I'm
back up to episode 2.
Oh, because
Nice.
you started.
Congratulations.
Oh shit! All right.
Well, yeah, and I do want to just say a couple things about going back and playing it through second time. Is the biggest disappointment isn't that I have to play it through again, it's that I didn't get to finish the storyline that I was going with, because while I'm trying to, it's tainted. You know me, and I don't care about spoilers and all that stuff, but a lot of this is moment-to-moment reactions to things rather than long-form story. And so knowing possible outcomes, now, of course, there can be different outcomes for whatever decisions you're making, but knowing possible outcomes influences me to kind of lean in one direction or another. And one thing in particular that I noticed it affecting was sort of the way that I react to people who I know are going to be around with me for a while. Because initially I was very wary around everybody, not really giving a lot of information about Lee.
Because you didn't know what was going to happen.
No, and so, but now I've kind of got this pre-built trust in them.
Yeah.
And so it's not like I'm specifically trying to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to make them my total buddies or something. I'm still trying to be realistic in the situation.
But you're going to deal with this guy.
But it's not like when I was first playing it and when I was like, I have no idea who the hell this fucker is. I'm not going to tell him stuff right away. I'm going to lie to him.
Because he'd be gone in 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm just upset that I didn't get to finish with my fresh take on it. Instead, I'm going back through with some preconceived or pre-knowledge about possible outcomes.
No, it's a good point, and I wonder about that in replays too, because I didn't really sit and think about that. You're now going to have the knowledge, so even though if you want to go a different route, you still know or can at least guesstimate what's going to happen, like difference-wise.
A little bit.
But it's, like you said, it's preconceived.
But I mean, I don't know how much you can actually change and what things will change further down the road and all that stuff. So, it's still gonna be very interesting for me. And if I had finished playing through my one story, then I wouldn't mind at all, because then it would just be me exploring to see what else Telltale Games had put into the game
Right.
And so then it would just be kind of a investigative study, whereas my first playthrough is meant to be sort of my experience with the game.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
still having fun with it. I went through. I forgot how long these episodes are though. It's going to be like over 10 hours to get through all 5 episodes.
5's not long.
Is
It's actually pretty short. I thought it was
maybe
a little
with
too
my
short.
decisions it will be longer.
Maybe.
Because there were certain situations where things were a lot longer because I was doing something slightly different from when I remember the first time.
It's possible. I think that it's pretty streamlined at the end, though, and I think that I don't know. I mean, the episode's called "No Time Left," which is pretty accurate.
Yeah,
because I mean that's kind of where they move you to, and you really get a sense that there's not much time going on.
You knew that at the end.
And
of
I don't know.
4.
I don't know how much I want to go in depth because you are dealing with the very final chapter of a story here, so I don't want to ruin anything for anybody who hasn't gotten to check it out yet. As was with 3 and 4 and 5, the lead up to it, it continues that emotional swing that I think that the story really had kicking for it. And obviously, it is coming to an end point of the game, so there is an emotional impact there at the end of the game. I enjoyed it greatly.
Yes.
I did find it was a little short, though, like I was mentioning. It felt just really streamlined and like moving you along really quickly. Whereas in some of those earlier ones, you kind of got to move around. And even in these instances in episode 5, where you had opportunity to talk to people, you were talking to people and they were like telling you, "Don't bother me right now." It wasn't giving you a lot of in-depth conversations that you could have in those other chapters, which I think sometimes added time onto those.
Right.
And I wasn't noticing that at all with this one. I was going up to talk to people, and they're like, "Don't talk to me right now."
Or it was just one little comment.
Yeah, it wasn't giving you like a tree to like have an actual conversation. Like they were just tired of talking to you at this point.
Yeah. Well,
God damn it, Lee, shut up.
they knew what was going on.
Every damn time we stop,
you
come around and talk
You know
to
what?
everybody.
And there is something into that too, that maybe they didn't want to talk to you anymore. So who knows? What's going on? What did you find with it, Sean?
I really enjoyed it. It got the same. I mean, the outcome was what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But still, I thought it was fantastic, and I want more from it.
We were talking.
I want
Working
more.
on season 2 is what I hear.
So I'm looking forward to.
So good.
I'm just looking forward to more because it's just the story is good. Just the vibe and the payoff for 5 was really good.
Yeah, it
I
was.
mean, I liked what I didn't see what the big payoff. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
At all. Like I was like.
And we were talking on the way down here. We still had, just by one decision that we made, we had pretty vastly different like paths to that end. It was still going the same way, but we were doing different things, and it was because of like one thing that we did in there. And I'm glad you did the other one, so I could get that insight too. So I wanted to know what was going on.
Yeah.
What if I did that?
Well, and see some of that things too, and I kind of cheat the game once in a while, just because it was like
Sean.
Well, there's times where
You're only cheating yourself.
I don't like one of the responses I gave. I thought was going to be more of a joke, and it came across mean. So I went back and replayed the level because I did not want that character to think I was being mean to him because that was not. I thought it was a joke.
I can understand. That.
It was
it's like real life. You can't take back
like
things.
I think
you
it was
say,
like
Sean.
I was calling someone a bastard.
Yeah.
But I thought it would be played off because they've been doing it the whole time as characters. So then when he goes, "You're a bat," I was like, "Well, hey!" And right then I stopped it, and then I had to replay it because I was like, I need to go back through that conversation.
I didn't mean it.
I don't want him to feel that way.
Right.
And I thought that was a really cool part about it because it wasn't huge. And it really, I doubt it would.
It wouldn't have mattered, right?
I don't think it. I mean, as I'm thinking ahead, I don't think it would have affected anything towards the end of that 5th episode.
Up at the top, it would say Kenny is taking you off his Christmas card list.
Yeah, but
Kenny thinks you're a dick.
But it just, I don't know. I'm so into that game. It's gonna be a hard one for top of it.
I want to sit down and re-go through it again. Because
definitely.
I don't remember a lot of stuff from the first part of it. But if you guys are up for it, I wouldn't mind even doing a quick like private chat with it sometime.
I'd be more than happy to do
Or
it.
maybe when you're done with
It's
it,
going to be the most disparate.
it won't be happy.
No, just be disparate, as in we're and then this happened. No, it didn't.
Shut up.
Oh, did it? That's awesome. It'd be good to know. So, I mean, I think that there's been some requests out there from folks too that they would like to hear us.
It's
do
very
that.
good.
So,
It's very good.
I would love to sit down and talk about some of that stuff.
I'm hoping to
because-
get it done within the next week.
Cool.
But I'm trying to pace myself so I don't burn myself out on it.
Don't burn yourself, son.
One thing I realized is that because it's basically modern point and click adventure, and
Yes.
it's from Telltale Games, and that's their bread and butter. But it's kind of different than other point and click adventures in that it's got hardly any puzzles in it whatsoever. And the puzzles are not like super puzzly. They're just kind of like do this thing.
You
It's
gotta
funny
find the tool to get you to the point B type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, even when we made fun of it kind of in the first episode with the whole battery thing. Like that was essentially
That's
their
exactly
puzzle.
what I was thinking of. Yeah.
But then even after that, they didn't even bother with those kind of things in the later episodes.
Episode 3 had a pretty big puzzle.
oh, did it?
actually.
Okay, I don't remember. So
Yeah,
I don't wanna
because
do
you couldn't move forward,
Unless you
and it
figured
took
it
me
out.
it took me like 20 minutes to
Okay.
get everything organized.
Okay.
because something wasn't working right.
but it was more difficult than put the battery in. And then she's like, it still doesn't work. And you're like, flip them around.
Yes. Spoiler.
I do have a problem with. There's like a part in those there's a girl carrying a car battery around, and they're carrying. I love that. They're like running around with this car battery. They're heavy. Car batteries are heavy.
Are you saying a girl couldn't carry a car battery? Because that's offensive.
She puts it in the
Sexist.
backpack, and she's jumping all over the place. And
Maybe
then-
she's
and then
like super built.
And then he goes to put it. He puts it in his pocket. I love that. It's like so classic because everything else
Yeah.
you see him like grab a weapon, they have the weapon in
Yeah,
hand,
right.
or something that's on them. But
Right.
you know, when it's something big, it just disappears because there's that magical hit pack that has like the bottomless hit pack.
Parkour.
I love those games. I love games that do that. It's like, oh, you have that giant grab 18 posts.
like a bag of holding.
yeah, and you're like, I have 18 posts. How do I?
You know,
You should see what my guy in Skyrim can carry.
it's just kind
Holy shit.
Dust and Elysian Tale actually made a joke with that or something like that. You
Yeah.
had some fetch
Oh.
quest where you're going around getting sheep, and then your little sidekick was
Yes.
like, "Where are you even keeping this?"
yeah.
And then it was in your inventory, and she's like,
That's funny.
She was disbelieving.
I love that whole little part was fantastic. 'Cause then you go to the oh, there they are. Well, let's just drop that. I don't know.
Cool.
It takes me out of the game.
Does it?
It takes it the real. No, it doesn't.
You're like, oh man, that's not believable. Oh, there's a zombie. Get out of the way. This is fake. I can't even see that battery. All right, should we move on?
Yeah.
I don't have any other XBLA. Do you guys have anything?
Nope.
All right, so you guys got a demo, though, I know.
That is correct.
Let's hear about it.
Devil May Cry.
DMC.
From Capcom. This is the big controversial reboot of Devil May Cry,
Controversy.
wherein they've changed Dante. And you know, I like his look. I like this Dante. He's got more of a realistic personality. I mean, he's a douchebag. He really is.
I'm in so far.
He's a cocky son of a bitch,
yeah.
but he's a little more believable than I remember, because I played the first 3 Devil May Cries on PS2.
I was never a big DMC fan.
I liked the first one a lot, and then I kept playing them out of some sort of compulsion, I guess.
Yeah.
I remember 1 being good.
The second one should get better.
Maybe they got it right with 3. Nope.
The first one, it had the same kind of vibe. There's a lot more. It just feels. I haven't played any Dante or any of the Devil May Cry since I think the first, maybe even the second one I tried out.
Yeah.
But the combo systems and
Right, and so it's a typical combo
yeah.
brawler, not too different from Bayonetta either.
Yeah, but
you can make some comparisons there.
the switch up is I really like the switch up because they have this like the red and blue type thing going on now, to where there's a different rooms or barriers, and you have to use like you have a red axe. And then it was like a blue, scythe. Yeah.
Basically, Dante is the child of an angel and a devil, and so he's got both angel and devil power. So he's the only one really capable of killing this network of demons that can basically control our world and the media and politics and all this stuff. And so there's going to be some of that.
So it's a true story.
Yes,
Okay.
precisely.
True story.
And so Dante's being inducted by this organization,
The Order.
Yes, thank you. To fight all these demons, and so he's running off, and so, but there's some great stuff. Like the game looks amazing.
I really like the look of it. And
Oh my
some of the stuff
God.
that they do with the visuals is very cool.
I forgot to pay attention to what engine they're using, but it is insane.
Yeah.
Because Dante looks great. Like he looks very much like a realistic person. And the facial animation works out well, and the city looks fantastic. You can play 2 levels in the demo. Actually, one is a level and one's a boss fight.
Yeah.
Really. And so you're walking through this city, looks like a European city or something with the narrow, stone streets and all that, and then all of a sudden, the demons notice you, and so then they fuck everything up. And and it's pretty. I love all the visuals that they do with it.
Like as you're walking through the city, you see shadows of the people in the like. The only thing I can think of,
because you're in limbo. Well, he says you're in limbo.
Yeah, you're in like a but you're walking through it, so like you get to still see what's going on because then there's these shadows of people as they're like kind of walking through the city.
Right.
But everything else is changing. Like Kill Dante will come up on the walls when you're turning it. There's some really cool effects.
It's visually amazing. The writing is okay.
Yeah.
The voice acting is pretty spectacular.
I really thought I like that.
They do a very nice job of being natural with it, but the writing.
I was a little put off because I thought the campaign, or I'll call it the campaign, not the boss part. The boss part is like all of a sudden you get kind of the meat and potatoes of the game because they have the F-bombs drop in this one big time. During the campaign
it
part,
was insane.
Really, it's just like weird one-liners and things like that. Nothing really too crazy. And being like,
no, I agree.
This is all you got type of thing.
Yeah.
But then you have this boss where he's like this big slug and they're having this fuck you contest back and forth. And you're like,
awesome.
Okay, it's like, fuck you. No, fuck you. Fuck. And you're like, wait a minute, kids. Let's calm down a bit.
It's the point where you're reminded that games like this usually inflate their maturity level a little artificially.
Then it pulled me into that Shadow of the Damned or whatever that
That's
game
what when you were describing it, that's all I could think of in my head. I'm picturing that.
With the crazy world. I mean, but it was cleaner and tighter and
nicer looking.
I would probably get into this a little bit more. Yeah.
More polished.
Yes.
And so Sean was alluding to the combo system before, and so you can use the left and right trigger to. You have 3 modes basically. You have your normal mode with your sword. You can switch over to your angel mode, and you can switch over to your demon mode using the different triggers. And so you have different combos that you can do based on those. It's very similar to the original DMC, where you jump, and you also have a basic attack. You have a launching attack, and then you also can shoot your dual pistols.
Yes.
And so. When you switch into different modes, those change up a little bit. The biggest change, however, is the pistols, where this is what Sean was alluding to, or part of what you're alluding to, where in angel mode, you can shoot out this tether and it will pull you. Is that right?
In angel mode,
it pulls you. And in devil mode, it can pull things towards you. So you use that to pull out platforms and do some very basic platforming stuff. But you can also use it in combat, which was actually pretty fun because there are all these flying things. And I'm like, well, this isn't very fun to just keep shooting at them. And then I'm like, oh, I'll pull my angel trigger here and then shoot up there. And then I'm like up in their face. I'm like, what up, bitches?
Yeah, exactly.
And that was pretty. And so it was pretty sweet. Like I would pull one dude over to me, beat him up, and then like pull myself over to another dude. And getting a long combo in that level mode was not that hard.
No, it wasn't at all.
I mean, it required a little bit of skill, but
at first it was a lot of D's like pointing up. It's always like D,
but it grows, right?
And it says something else. Like
it grades.
D, like degenerate or something like that. Or like and as you go, awesome or something. And then I think I was battling the boss battle and. The thing would not it wouldn't click over to it wouldn't click over to the cutscene where you pull you have to pull him off this tether. It wouldn't cut to that. He was just sitting there, not attacking me, but I could attack him. So I got up to some insane combo because I just sat there just spamming the buttons, and it was like triple S's or something like that. And I was like, it was like
nice.
Sadistic or something like that. And I'm like.
It's a studio.
Yeah, it was like I want to rent this game because the demos. I totally check out the demo. It's worth it, and you can unlock like a higher mode too because they have like your regular, your angel mode, your demon mode, and then something else. But
right.
And you can unlock that in the demo, which I think was neat.
Yeah,
nice.
The biggest mode, son of whatever your dad's name was, actually changes up the enemy waves too.
Yeah.
So it is actually like very different for you because otherwise you're just kind of increasing the intensity of the enemy waves.
But at first it felt like a button spammer game, but then as you go on and the story seems, I don't know, I kind of want to see what the actual story kind of goes because the boss battle you kind of come in and you don't know why, and he's just yelling at him. I'm here to kill you.
Also, I was surprised no QuickTime events.
Yeah,
at least in the demo
so far.
Yeah.
At least in the demo, I was expecting that. I was expecting him in the boss battle. but there wasn't any.
I thought the tutorial was really nice. And
Yeah, it
it
was
walked you through it really
pretty
well.
good. Yeah,
Cool.
and
Did they have a release date on it?
it's
Is it
January 15th, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I liked it. Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing it myself.
Definitely gonna run it. So
Cool.
yeah, which I couldn't say anything about those other ones because I played the first one and just the big red coat and the white weird hair. You know, he had like the cloud stripe hair and stuff like that. And then you go in some devil, like you hit your your
I
two
forgot
triggers
about
down,
that.
or
Yeah,
your
you
two,
go into devil mode
and then I don't know
or demon mode. Or
demon
something.
mode or everything turns white and summertime was like, is it snowing? I'm like, I don't know what it's doing, but I'm killing
Yeah, I forgot.
stuff.
I only did it the one time.
Yeah, but
There's a lot of depth to be explored in terms of the combos and all of that.
especially with those chains and movement things.
Or you can be like Sean and I and just kind of smash things.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then grab
Get
onto
through.
them and throw them.
Yes.
Or pull up to them
Both.
and throw them. All of the
I think,
above.
I think that aspect was, but I was trying to I caught myself trying to run on the walls.
I can see that.
I really like go to a wall to run on.
There were
it.
a couple position
I
camera
felt like I was playing
camera
Princess-
switch things that kind of annoyed me.
Yeah.
One of the platform areas in the level where it automatically flipped the camera around to the other side.
Yes.
And so then it was really difficult to jump
And
over
you're
the
already
other
doing
platform.
like a jump movement at the
Yep.
time, and then it switched.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
There weren't a lot of those,
Yeah.
though. And it only seemed to be when you were platforming specifically.
I wanted to kind of smack Summer for that one because she's like, "Are you ever gonna make it to that one?"
Oh.
And I was like, "Do you see what's happening?"
Well,
It changes visually as you're jumping, and then I made it. I was like, "Okay." She's like, "All right." Wow.
that's not helpful.
No.
Hey, Sean, did you try harder to
Yeah.
jump there?
I'm just glad she doesn't quote the show.
Exactly.
She should just learn to play better.
From now on, I needed to give her a call.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, when that happens again, say, hey, did you try playing better? Wouldn't that be funny if she just dropped that on you?
Oh, I would not. I would.
Oh,
yeah.
you would bust up laughing.
I would
the first
actually.
time.
I'd bite my lip till it bled and then laugh.
Then you bite her lip.
Never.
Wait,
This
what?
is getting.
Yeah,
I don't know what's
I
happening
know
now.
where
I
we're
think we
going.
should stop that.
Devil May Cry demo. Check it
Yes,
out.
I do recommend checking
Yeah.
out the demo.
All right, is that it for demos?
Yes.
Moving on to discs.
All right.
Discs. I want
Is
to touch
that with
back
a
on
Z?
some Need for Speed Most Wanted.
I did actually play this demo, so I can
you
chime in
played
a
the
little
demo?
bit. Yeah.
We played some multiplayer.
We played some multiplayer. I played a lot more of the regular game.
Yeah.
And we talked about it a little before the show, but I wanted to dial back a little bit because I think I was a little overzealous.
Oh, really?
In my representation of the game last episode.
Because based on your recommendation, I pre-ordered it.
You should. Well, it was already out, so you're
Well-
kind of dumb.
I shouldn't have done that on a street corner. Then.
No, that money's never coming back. I'm sorry.
Those street corner Best Buys.
He had the sign and everything, wearing a blue shirt.
Oh no.
He said he was a nerd squad.
Nerd Squad.
Oh, that's where you got taken.
What?
Geek Squad. Sorry,
Ah, shit.
sorry, buddy. I don't know what you paid for. But
He did take my card, though, and
It
give me
is
my
Best
discount.
Buoy.
and he swiped it. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. Anyway, so I worry that I was overselling it because I played it a lot more. But at the time when we talked about last episode, I don't know, it was 5 or 6 hours or whatever I was into it. So it was all really fresh and new. I sat and played a lot more of it, and I felt that it was not as deep as Burnout Paradise. So I think that's maybe where I still enjoyed it. I think it's a beautiful game. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know that it has the longevity for me that Burnout Paradise did because I was almost done with all the gates, all the billboards, and everything within just like, I don't know, 8 to 10 hours or so.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so really all I was left with was a couple more billboards, a couple more gates, and then like racing or doing all the challenges with all the cars, you know, with all these other cars, which that's in itself is probably, you know, a longevity piece, but it's just using a different car and doing kind of the
Right.
similar things.
Sure.
The fun for me with Burnout Paradise was finding all those billboards and all those gates, and it seems like there was a lot more in that game than there are in this one.
It's not as big.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as big. It's a little bit more compact. It looks big when you're playing it, but then you
drive and you realize,
the
oh,
road
I was just
changes.
here.
The road changes. Yeah. You go in a circle. But I mean, I still enjoy the game. The multiplayer really opened it up a little bit more. I had fun playing in some challenges. We played a couple times.
We did.
Played a couple of challenges, but I joined a couple games and played some more, and that was fun. When the person hosting wanted to do them, so that was always good.
Oh, because otherwise you just tool around and do whatever.
Yeah, and which still I had
so it's
fun
kind of
doing
like
that too.
the Skate 2 setup then for
You can just join and everybody can play, or whoever's leading the session can say, okay, we're going to do this.
That's kind of like
stuff.
what Skate 2 was.
Yeah.
My thing was that I kind of remember liking Burnout Paradise more because it was all those goofy kind of things.
Well, yeah,
And this one's a mix of sometimes those goofy things and sometimes doing races.
yeah.
So that might be good for some people because they didn't want to just dick around. Like with doing goofy things, they wanted to do races, which I think you could do in Burnout Paradise.
Yeah.
It was one or the other.
Yeah.
This kind of mixes everything together. So
You get-
here, do this, go around this place, and you have to crash everybody, and now go do a race.
Yep.
And then now after you're doing that race, go do this thing. And so it was. I guess it might be good for some people to mix those up, but I like more doing the dicking around stuff.
Yeah,
not any
like
of the
all
races.
the jumps and all that stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I understand that little side of it. I like it. I don't know if I'm going to buy it. If it drops
Really?
in price.
Yeah.
If it drops in price, I think it would be totally. I just can't see myself spending $60, $40, maybe
Maybe,
$20 for sure.
Yeah.
Like for 25.
So what do you
30,
think, Craig?
You know,
How does the demo work?
35,
I guess?
40.
Well, it's a limited. It has single player and multiplayer. I did not play the multiplayer because EA wants you to read their 80-page disclaimer and then sign a waiver just to play the demo. And if I owned the game and I was keeping the game, I would go through all that trouble. But I was like, fuck this, and so I just played offline.
You can't just skip to the end.
I'm not going to just agree to whatever
man.
it is.
Who cares? What's gonna happen?
So yeah, for a demo, I'm not going to bother with all that shit.
Gotcha,
So
okay.
I just played the single player, and it was okay. I mean, Burnout Paradise didn't quite sing with me either because it's primarily driving, and this one seems a little heavier on the primarily being driving. And you also have to factor in the fact that I've come out of like 30 plus hours of playing GTA 4, so I'm a little sick of driving in a city.
But don't you like driving a city with a car that handles?
No, yes, that is much better.
Isn't that
is
good?
phenomenally better. Yes, yeah, but
That responds like it should.
That's the only problem I have with games like this. I just want to be able to have a guy that gets out, and then I could go do a mission.
At least you
and
can
then
see
get
the
back
guy
in the
this time.
car. Yeah, well, that too. Yeah. Where's the
yeah, I
helmet?
mean, it was good. It's just this is not the kind of game that really speaks to me anyway. But because Burnout wasn't either, because I tried that demo a while back.
But it's pretty, right?
It looks very very good.
The lighting effects they do on this game are just insane.
No, it's very technically impressive. Yeah. So
And that
it's good.
I would run into stuttering every once in a while.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
very rarely.
Yeah.
And
Online
kind
or
of
offline?
offline, and it would just kind of like stall a second. And I'm sure that if I installed the game, I wouldn't have any of the issues.
It was
you
a little
haven't
bit better.
installed
I
it.
installed it on my hard drive.
And you didn't have any problems.
It's
Once in
just
a while?
not maybe once in a while, but when I was playing it off the disc, it would happen more so like during when you were switching over to a new part of the map and it was like loading.
yeah, it would just really quick.
and it was just kind of back and forth.
But other than that, you're in the world and the environment, and everything's just always going. So the fact that it's not loading anytime, that that's stopping you, is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Outside of you doing the specific races, and then it has a little load portion. But
And I we had a couple problems with like just when playing multiplayer, the fact that we couldn't track ourselves on the map unless we were playing a challenge.
yeah, right.
Which I
That
thought
was kind
was
of
a little
annoying
weird.
because
Yeah.
it didn't. You're like, oh, I found this thing, and I would go to look on the map, and you weren't showing on my map at all.
And you weren't showing on mine.
And I'm like, what is like if I'm here with multiple people, why wouldn't you tell me where everybody's at? I totally forgot about that.
but it
That sucked.
only shows during challenges,
yeah,
which is kind of really weird. I don't understand that. But
that sucked.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, I found this camera.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, I probably need it too. Where are you at? And then I couldn't see him on the map.
We had to
That's
we
not
had to go to
helpful.
the part that looked like a penis.
I don't remember that being the description that we gave when we played, but
A weird bone penis.
I don't remember that part.
It was a whale dong.
I don't know.
Oh, that he remembers.
Now I'm in.
No.
But no, I mean, I love the game, but like I said, I feel like I almost got everything out of it in the 10 hours I
Sure.
played outside of just going through and playing with all the cars. And that might be an appeal to a lot of folks with the racing game. But for me, it's more about going around and just like doing the crazy jumps and busting through the billboards and finding all the hidden stuff. and not necessarily tricking out all the extra cars. You know what I mean? I kind of found one I liked and I stuck with it.
See, and I'm like, I like the whole fact of you find the new ones, and because I want to play some of the trucks. That's why I've continued to rent.
But I did love going through and breaking everybody's scores on their billboards.
Yeah.
And looking for every goddamn pull list logo, and like, well, that can't stand.
Well, it's a win-win for me and Craig, so
I know
it doesn't really matter.
I know, douchebags. See, because UC signed in, and it's fine because you're on that show.
I'm on that show. Craig's on that show.
I see the pull list, and I'm like, F those guys.
Yeah. So win-win.
But it was awesome. I mean, it was just awesome to be able to have that right in front of you. Always see that leaderboard and like want to just beat that person because you want to be represented.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool.
And then now that you don't have the game, I'll get them all
Shut
back.
up, Dick. I'll get it someday. And then never play it. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to move down the list then. Unless you guys, what do you guys have for disc? Because I can't remember. Do you have some GTA? Do you want to talk about that?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
It's too fucking long. 94 goddamn mandatory missions in there. That is too long. You know, I'm starting. This sounds like I'm
hateful.
being. It does sound hateful. I'm wondering if their major concern was simply making things bigger, and because the whole game feels like a grind. Like the missions felt like a grind, like getting through the story, because it's not like everything that I was doing in the story air quotes there was moving the story forward. A lot of it should have been side quest stuff that I could have jumped in and jumped out of when I felt like it. That didn't, because it didn't matter. Yeah. You know, and so I kept trying to hone in on all these. I'm like, oh, well, this guy's actually sounds like he could help me figure out this plot, blah, blah, blah. And so I go do, and then that last 3 missions, and then he's like, oh, I'll give you a call when I'm ready. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta go help Packy now. Jesus Christ. You know, the friend stuff feels, and I know a lot of people complain that felt very forced on, and what feels most forced about it though is that, you know, it doesn't really, you have no say in it. Like it's really hard to get into it because I was trying to get that achievement because I finished the story, so now I'm trying to mine some achievements out of it, and this is where I'm really feeling the grind, like even more so than when I was doing the story. What the hell? Because it's like, anyway, so I was helping friends out, and it's, you know, I was driving one dude to go to this restaurant. I'm like, oh, he likes this restaurant. It'll give me a big boost in his percentage, blah, blah, blah. And they're chatting, and Nico's like, totally, I don't want to talk to you. And I'm like, so why the fuck am I making friends with him then?
Why do I care about this?
If I can't decide whether or not, and I'm like, I kind of like this guy. He's funny, you know.
They're not even selling you on the motivation because the character doesn't want to be there,
right? And
you're like, why do I want to be there?
The whole game gives this illusion of choice, especially because it's in a big sandbox, quote unquote. There, whatever that means these days. And it's got this illusion of choice, but you never really have much choice in things. Also, it's just goddamn twitchy. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, oh shit.
Technical wise, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's like things will, I was getting so frustrated because I couldn't do a goddamn thing without, like, the police getting insanely freaked out about every tiny little thing that I was doing. God damn it, now I can't remember. I had planned to talk about it, and now I can't remember.
I can tell you what, I remember a specific mission at the end of that game that involved a boat.
Oh, God, fuck the boats.
And I wanted to...
Cool, and Rockstar thought, hey, you know what kids like? Boat chases. Let's put a dozen missions in the store, the mandatory story.
There was something specific at the
where
end.
there's the boat chase, where you can bump a ship and you flip over. Game over.
Okay, but there was something specific at the end that involved a boat chase that was going, and you were on a motorcycle? Is that right? And you had to make, or a car, and you had to make a certain jump?
I don't remember the jump, but I do
there was
vaguely
a point,
remember.
I remember having to do about 47 times.
I do vaguely remember them ripping off the pilot of Miami Vice, yes.
I had to do something like 1 billion times, and I was so pissed off that I had to go down this specific strip and get it like within a certain time, and I couldn't do it. And that's all I remember from it, but it's burned into my memory as being terrible.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that.
The boats are all...
Man, I really want to go back and
I remember.
end this game.
It was like I was trying to do this, do 10 melee counters in 4 minutes or whatnot, and so I was following everyone's advice and going down the helipad and trying to beat those guys up. But somebody called the cops, and so the cops were coming, and so I'm like, oh, fuck this, I'm going to jump in a helicopter and get away. And of course, the dude I was fighting pulled me back out of the helicopter. So the cops catch up to me. So, you know, Nico gives up. And then all of a sudden, so he gets down on his knees. He's giving up. I'm like, okay, now we're going to start over here. And all of a sudden, they just shoot me. And then they shoot the other people there. And I'm like, where is this coming from? I mean, thanks, because now I don't lose my weapons. But what the fuck? What inspired them to start just opening fire?
They were nervous.
Oh my god, they were 1 star.
You set one guy off.
It was 1 star. I wasn't even fighting the cops.
You said the helicopter thing, and all it made me remember is when we were playing multiplayer, and we would, like, everybody get in a helicopter, and there'd be 4 of us and flying, and then the guy flying the helicopter would jump out, and then the helicopter would just start falling to the ground. And there's just dudes like, you dumbass. Oh, multiplayer is so much fun, though.
Yeah.
Multiplayer just fucking around was a blast.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I don't know if there's much community left for that for me, though.
Probably not.
But
we got it. Let's go.
Everything... I'll do it. Everything was just such a grind. You know, it's like, I'll do these street races that I skipped over for Brucey.
The street races are never fun. And
they weren't too bad. Like because there's a bit of an exploit where if it only works some of the time, but if you're in a shitty car, when you call Brucey and then you get out, all the cars will match that level.
Oh, then
and
you have a shitty car.
Then you jump into a better car, and then it's like I lapped dudes in the street races.
Nice.
Yeah.
Street races weren't too bad, but it was like, I finished all 9. All right, let's get that achievement. What? And then I look at it again. Do 20. There are 9 different street races. So not only do they want you to do basically the equivalent, I mean, you could just do the same one 20 times if you wanted to, but 20 of them. It's a grind.
Yeah, right.
You know? And I understand that idea of an achievement is something that you really have to work for, but what? Brucey.
He hates Brucey.
Oh man,
I thought you said something else entirely.
I just got reminded. I just all of a sudden reminded of that character, and I'm like,
I hate Packy.
Oh yeah.
God, why am I associated with that family at all?
Yeah.
They're all idiots.
Yes.
And I hated that they're like, you know, they're forcing like, oh, you like Kate, don't you? I'm like, no.
No, I don't.
You made me go on one date and I haven't called her back. I think that's a pretty clear sign I'm not interested anymore. I'm not in. No, you guys, you have to confer with her. The spoiler here, you have to confer with her towards the end of the game about this big important decision that you're making. I'm like, why am I talking to her?
I went
on one date with her and I fucking hate her family. What is the point? I have no choice here. It's that sort of shit.
It all goes down to that.
Yeah.
It's that sort of shit that just kept getting under my skin.
I want to try to sidestep this as best
my
as
voice.
I want to try to get around this as best as possible because it does involve the end.
Okay.
But this is what I've been dying to talk about. And again, and I think as I mentioned the last time, is that this led me ultimately
God
to
damn it, don't spoil this 4-year-old game.
wanting to do the show, right? Do a podcast in general.
4.5-year-old
was my
game.
anger about the end of Grand Theft Auto 4.
Right.
And that is, if I remember correctly,
anticlimactic.
if I remember correctly, you get 2 choices at the end of the game.
Before the end of the game, yes.
And they kind of give you an idea that this choice over here is the quote unquote good choice.
Right.
This choice over here is quote unquote the bad choice.
Right.
The good choice has you fucking murdering somebody. If I remember correctly.
That's not the way. Well, in the very, very end, you have to murder somebody.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's
but I didn't murder. I didn't murder anybody.
But isn't that
after I made my choice?
Isn't that the bad choice? I need. See, the problem is I don't remember exactly. Here was my.
It depends who the fuck you're listening to. If you were listening to Kate, she was all like, "Don't go against your principles." Spoiler: don't go against your principles. Don't work with that dude. And I'm like, fuck this. Apparently, I haven't been working towards anything at all except money. So I'm just gonna get some money. And
that's the context I'm putting it in.
Yeah.
Is that is that they wanted that was what my whole point was, is that Rockstar was all about this Nico is different than any other Grand Theft character
right.
because he's not about being the criminal gangster.
Right.
He's about getting above this stuff and moving on. So going in that vein of thinking, it was like avoiding the revenge ending. You know what I mean? Like not going for revenge.
Right.
But they were saying that was not the right thing to do. And I'm like, how does that not the right thing to do? Like, that's the character you painted this
Is it
entire
not the
time.
right thing?
That's what they think that they were telling us, is that was the bad.
Did you do the other
I
side?
can't remember. I went the way that they said to, and then I ended up killing somebody. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not a, like, you told me that I'm not a criminal. Like, I'm
I
trying not
didn't
to act.
kill anybody.
I don't remember how it went. I'll have to look it up because
you get a choice again.
been 4
you get
years.
A choice again at the very end.
I don't remember. I know I was at an airport.
Okay, I take that back. He was dying already. No, I forgot.
I don't remember.
I forgot. Yeah, he was dying already. That's why.
And now we're totally talking the code. Nobody who's played the game has any idea what we're talking about.
Oh no.
I'll look it up and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
And I'll see what my exact sticking point was at the end.
You do
because I
that.
don't remember.
See, now I want, like, at first I was kind of like not wanting to ever go back and play that. Now I'm kind of wanting to.
See? That's what we do. We
Thanks,
do our
guys.
job.
What?
Kind of wanting to.
He's not gonna, but he
I'm not
wants
gonna. The only sandbox game I'll ever complete was Red Dead. That was it.
That was a good one to do.
Yeah. Well, no, I did complete Vice City.
Oh, well, there you
See,
go.
now Vice City was a lot of fun. I remember that being a lot of fun, and I just had no fun playing this game. Like, I shout at this game so much. I am so angry at this game.
So you're excited for 5, is what you're saying?
Exactly. You know what? They're all like, we made our world bigger.
I was just gonna say. So that's.
I'm like, fantastic.
So when they say it's the other games added together are still smaller than the new 5,
Fuck that.
that doesn't do much for you.
Fuck that. This is, but I think that
Not when you have to, like,
solidifies.
escort a fucking armored truck.
I think that solidifies what I think happened with 4, because 4 is just bigger. You have to do more things, cover more distance.
Yeah.
You know, you have to reach a certain, you have to do this one thing multiple times, blah, blah, blah. It's ridiculous because it was no fun for me. And then, you know, it just pushes me to find like an exploit that makes it super simple.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know, I'm defeating the purpose of the game in that respect. And so it's like, oh, fuck this. Ah.
The game doesn't make you take the low road, Craig.
It does.
Those are your own personal
when it
convictions.
crushes me under its millstone.
Your weak convictions. That's what those are.
I learned it by watching it.
Exactly. Criminal.
God damn it.
Move.
You're done now, though, right?
Yeah.
Or are you still grinding through stuff?
I'm grinding out a few achievements just because they're a little less frustrating than the so-called story was, and it's like I want to be able to just put it on the shelf and not have that temptation of like, I could do something for achievements. I guess I still have a few achievements here. No, I want to close this chapter of my life with finality.
and be done.
Yes.
Until 5 comes out.
No.
And then you're all over it. I am.
Wrong.
I am. I'm all excited. I watched that trailer and I was like, because we were just
You're
talking
like,
about 4.
I bet they have 200 story missions.
We were talking about 4, and I was like, yeah, I remember not being happy about that. I don't know how much I'm looking forward to 5. And I saw that trailer, and I'm like, this is going to be awesome.
Well, you know, they did that story shit with L.A. Noire as well. Where it kind of gives you that. I mean, I think what they're trying to do is this sort of gritty realism of you can't actually beat the world. The world is, you know, immovable, or, you know, it's going to move in
There's
this.
some lesson in there.
Right, exactly. But it just fucking robs you of any sort of choice that you had, and feels like I got to the end of the game and I'm like, that's it. And then the credits start rolling. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm done. Thank God. But it was like so anticlimactic.
Yeah.
You know, it was just kind of dumb. Anyway, I'll shut up about it.
That's all right. That's what we're here for.
OMG, shut up.
No, we're here for you to vent.
Is that the reason for this?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
That's what we agreed on.
Most of the time.
It was your therapy. That's what we're here for. I'm going to roll on with a Halo 4 then, because I don't have a lot to say, because I gave it the good old college try, and I could not get into it.
Like college.
Like college. I couldn't get into any of those. God, I wish that wasn't a joke. So here's the thing. I have tried so hard. I don't know what there is a block for me with Halo. Like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I guess it's psychological.
It might be. I don't know if there was a trauma. Halo touched me as a child, I guess.
Master Chief.
Master Chief. Somebody put a helmet on and then fondled me. That must be what it is.
It's you from the future.
It was me. That's a great
why
movie.
Wearing a helmet.
That's right. God damn it.
Was that Looper?
I think that was, don't, spoiler. That was the whole story of Looper. Jesus Christ. All right. We're way off. This isn't the beginning of the show. This is like what we do there. It looks fantastic. So the like visuals and the world that they've created for this, 343 Industries taken over for this game release. They've done a brilliant job. Everything looks fantastic. The sound is great. It looks great. But the gameplay there's still something that's just hollow about Halo, and I don't know how to describe it any other way. It's when I feel like there's no weight to the weapons that I'm using. I feel like there's no weight to my movement. I feel like a rag doll. Like I don't know what it is. I can't. I have a hard time putting it into words. When I play that game, I just feel like there's no weight. And I don't know if that makes any sense. But
that's the concern in first-person shooters. Usually, it's not one that I've heard leveled against Halo in any capacity. It's an interesting thing.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about me. And also, once you're to this point of the storyline, I'm not invested in it. So I don't care what happens. It's I feel like the same way that if I would jump into Mass Effect 3 and I would be playing Mass Effect 3 and here's this ongoing storyline and there's no impetus for me to move forward because I really don't understand what's happening or care about what's happening.
Yeah.
And I know loosely some things from, the previous games and releases in the universe, but not enough to like be this driving force of like, oh, I really want to see this to completion and I think care about what's happening.
That might be a slightly unfair comparison though, because in Mass Effect 3, there's a lot of you made the decisions things, whereas
well, I'll even say
it's linear.
I'll even say Gears of War.
Okay,
so
that's
jumping
fair.
into Gears 3,
there you
and
go.
I'm like, why do I even care about this guy and any of these other people? And that's kind of how I feel about this game.
Bugs, shoot him.
Exactly. So that's ultimately what I'm doing. I'm running around. So as much as I want to try to be into it, it still doesn't work. So I gave it the try, and while it looked beautiful, I feel
you only have one.
I
one per year.
I saved it for Halo.
Feels special.
and now it's gone. Luckily, we only have a month left to go, and I get another one back.
Yep. I've saved up my try. My try's still sitting there.
You didn't play Halo 4?
I did not.
What are you going to use it on?
I didn't even try it on Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, no, you still got that sitting there that you haven't tried.
I'm just renting that.
What are you doing?
You're renting it?
Just a placeholder on
still.
that one. I got my half off, so it's still.
That makes it better.
It does. It's like $3 for 5 days. It's not bad.
It's still cheap.
Not bad at all.
It's still cheap to not play something.
You should play it though.
I know I should, and that's my option. I rented my other two games.
It could sit on the shelf at the store for $0.
No, but
what if you don't get it?
But if I went to rent it and it wasn't there,
you're reserving it.
then
for that time frame.
It.
Don't you see?
Come on,
come on, Craig.
You get a rental store, you'll understand. If a family video popped up next to you, you would be.
Sometimes a family video in town.
I know, but I'm saying next to you.
Sometimes you need to rent it now, even though you can't play it for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Because in 2 weeks you might not be able to get it.
And if it's not there, then you gotta.
It's really more family video that should be mad at him than.
Yeah, but I'm paying.
You're still paying.
I'm paying for it. It doesn't matter.
It makes sense to me, brother.
Exactly.
I do the same thing.
Hey, brother.
Hey, bro.
Hey, brother.
Brah.
But Assassin's Creed, I didn't crack that open. I got it for 2 more days, so tomorrow, make or break time.
Finish it tomorrow.
It's make or break time.
Wait. What happens at 2 more days if you don't play it?
It goes back.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you're putting a finite end on it now.
I rented the others for 5, Need for Speed and Call of Duty, and then I rented that for
5
2
weeks.
Yeah, about. But yeah, then I'll rent the other.
Look, we don't got all the money in the world to be buying these games. We got to rent. If they don't give to us as review copies, we got to rent them to play them.
$15, that's not bad.
It's not.
I don't think
I'm
that's
on your
bad
side.
at all.
Don't
and
forget,
that's like
I'm on
5
your side.
different rentals right there. That's awesome.
I'm on your side. I don't even want to talk to you how much I spend in rentals.
I know.
Right now, currently, as I'm sitting here.
I can imagine.
It's ridiculous.
With 40 games on
You are on your phone
hand.
ordering things.
I am. I'm reserving things now that I'll play in 3 weeks.
But
So anyway, are we going to stop bugging Sean now about his rental habits?
Call of Duty, Isn't that what we're going to next?
Let's talk.
Done?
No, we can talk about that. Actually, you know,
Cod Bops Deuce.
let me before we go to that. Let's close with that because I want to talk about Epic Mickey too.
Oh, yeah,
which
that's
is
right.
probably a lot less important.
which is a better segue anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's more. There's better things to say about Call of Duty.
Mickey.
Cod Bops.
Blops.
Too. Blops. Sorry.
Deuce.
Those people that wanted to hear about Blops, though, now we just totally like gave them nothing.
We're gonna make
Now
them
they have to
listen to your
wait.
stellar
Yep.
Epic Mickey.
Epic Mickey too.
review here, right?
I played it, and I played it with my wife. So we did co-op the whole time. I
Yes.
haven't played it non-co-op. Well, actually, I did a little bit when she was done, which didn't take very long for her to be done with it. We played a good couple of hours, though.
Right.
It's not that great.
No.
It's really hard in multiplayer with the split screen. It was really limited on view. Like
Is it always split screen or is
It
it like
is.
Lego where it does?
No, it's always split screen, which is really rough, especially when you're in like the same kind of area. But
Right. Exactly.
and especially when you're playing with somebody who doesn't play a lot of those kind of games, like
Sure.
platforming games. So maneuvering around was a little bit of a chore for her as far as finding where I'm at. And of course, I'm jumping all over like an idiot and not helping out very, very well. So
Why can't you do this?
no, I wasn't being mean. We were doing good. She was doing awesome still. But, you know, I have a hard enough time with split screen. Even though I have a larger TV, it's still kind of troublesome for me to, like, just narrow that view. Especially when you're in an area where you have to kind of look around and see things and not just
Could
moving
you switch
forward.
it from vertical to horizontal?
Maybe, but that was even worse because there are some side-scrolling that we ran into at least one side-scrolling portion of the game
Right.
that was so hard to see what was going on. Like, she had to move up because she couldn't see. It was pulled back so far that she couldn't see her character or what was going on.
Oh.
It's just so busy and there's so much
Your
stuff in there.
TV's pretty big, so
Exactly.
Wow.
So I can't imagine it with a smaller,
Yeah.
you know, trying to go through with that. I also found that it didn't really explain things very well. And for an all ages kind of game and like a, you know, family or kids game that it's supposed to be, it doesn't really give you a lot of explanation. And maybe I'm just dumb, but we were missing things as far as it saying, "Oh, do this," and
Oh, no,
you don't
I
really
agree.
know what to do.
Yeah.
And so, you know, once you figure out that, oh, it means wherever that gremlin's at, that's what you're supposed to go pay attention to. But he's like, oh, shoot this thing on the wall. And you're like, there's like 800 things on the wall. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by wall. What thing on the wall?
Did you try to fix that machine and then not be able to fix it and take you forever, and then you realize there's like a pipe that you need to paint up above it?
Yeah, that was one of the things that we were doing.
That's the one. That's the one I was talking about last time.
I was like,
the one.
well, and actually Aaron's like, I think you need to do that because she could see the outline. And I didn't see it at all.
Yeah, yeah.
It like blended in.
Right.
So I didn't see that there was an outline for it. But so she pointed it out.
Right.
Thank God. So, and then, you know, when I played a couple of the things without her and I wanted to see kind of how the AI would work. And it worked in some instances where I would, you know, call him over or, you know, like I would get next to him and kind of activate him and let him know he needed the Oswald character needed what he needed to do. There were other things that were hidden that I don't know any way you could get to him without playing with another person. And that seems like a problem to me. Like, because there are hidden things throughout the levels and little extra bonus things you can find. And there were some that, unless you're in a specific area that the AI knows you need to do co-op for, he's not going to do it on his own.
Not if you call him over.
I did call him over. Well, here's the problem. I called him over and I had him do it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't go the path that I need him to get up to this thing, unless there's something I was doing wrong. But it just seems like there's some areas where without an actual partner sitting next to you, there's no way to get to some of these things, which is kind of problematic.
I'm not surprised.
It's kind of a problem, right? For, you know, wanting to also have a single player experience. Animation's great still, though. You know, the little cutscenes in between with the animated things that they do is great.
The filters they throw on that are pretty slick.
I love that look, where they look drawn.
Yeah.
I really like the voice acting they put in this time around.
Yeah, that's pretty
so, you know, there is that also filling out
And
the story.
singing.
And there's lots of singing, which I'm not too big on, but it was okay. But it still added to the, you know, the ambiance of the game.
Right, exactly.
And that world and that universe. Another, you know, when I was talking about the not explaining things, you do get tons of different kinds of items. You get this fabric, you get these tickets, you get
I forgot to
metal,
mention all
you
that
get
stuff.
pins.
All of which I had no idea what they were doing.
Because they don't explain anything to you. And that's my thing, too, is that goes into the non-explanation. You get these items, and they give you no context of how you use them.
Weird.
You know what?
So-
I think they said you could use the fabric in a haberdasher's in town.
Exactly, which tells you nothing. So I go in, you know, we finally find these shop areas, which also they don't tell you how to enter the shops because you have to be next to your partner and then you have to leave the button held down. And so And, that way so the person can't just do it, accidentally, which makes sense. But they don't give you any kind of, like, instruction of this is how you do. So you kind of just have to find your way through all this stuff, which is kind of weird to me. So you go in and, I finally found the place that's the costume shop that you use your fabric to buy costume pieces. And so that made sense, but it's not like they tell you at the time.
Right.
And you get all this stuff for, I don't know, 2 levels before you get to that point. So you just don't know what's going on.
Weird.
And then you get these pins that if you get certain pin combinations, they give you like attribute bonuses or like gameplay bonuses. But there's no way to track what ones you need without going to this certain shop and looking at them in specific. It seems like there's a lot of nice pieces and they're not connected. Does that make any sense? Like, it's just, they're not giving you like the pieces that tie together.
Sure.
It's really strung out as far as different areas and not easy to do. So I guess the answer is just get everything.
Yeah.
And worry about it then.
Which you already do. So.
Well, I know, but some of these games I just want to play through and not have to get everything. But now you do, I guess. So, and then also the camera's still terrible. Like, it's for a platforming game, like, it needs to have a tighter camera control, or like there's so many jumps that you have to make that are kind of blind because you can't line up on the side or above.
Sure.
They also, I was noticing when you jump, a lot of times in those platforming games, you judge by your shadow, where when your shadow appears on the thing, and I didn't seem to have a shadow on my character at all. So you would jump like off of a cliff on the next one, and so you normally would see, oh, there's a black spot down there. That means I'm going to be able to land now.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case for these that I was making these jumps, and I don't know if that's
Was the sun at an angle?
consistent or not. I don't think the sun was moving.
Do you have a long shadow?
I don't
Was
know.
it high noon?
I know it
right
might have been because I
above
noticed
you.
no shadow.
p.m.
It might have been night. That might have been the issue. So it's just, I don't know. It seemed kind of a mixed bag for me. I want to enjoy it based on, I love the Disney franchise stuff, and I love everything to do with Disney.
Yeah.
Which I know is probably a shock to most people. But I am a big Disney nerd. And so I want to enjoy the game and I want those pieces, but it also doesn't feel like there's enough nostalgia Disney-wise that I would want in the game.
Sure.
Like they're doing their own thing and like going really old school with some of those characters, like the old black and white stuff, and I really want some of the newer, universe stuff in there.
That's their whole big poll and saying how there's Oswald and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
So I'm gonna play some more. We're gonna do some more of the co-op as much as we can, but it was getting a little frustrating, so we stopped. And so I'll see if we can get back into it, but I don't really know. We'll
Not
see.
too epic, huh?
Not too epic. not too. Not too epic, Mickey 2.
Not too epic, Mickey too.
I guess.
I know they were playing on a GMA and one of them won. So I don't know how that happened.
Somebody won?
Yeah.
What are you talking
He's like,
about?
I won, and I'm like, I thought it was a co-op game. Yeah, they didn't know what they were talking about. They were just trying.
think?
It was just a commercial.
Oh,
But I thought it was funny. No, they're playing it on a big screen, and one's like, "I won." And I'm like, "How'd you?"
On
win
Good
it?"
Morning America?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
So they have no idea.
A GMA, I say.
They were
You
just-
got to say GMA.
So it was just-
Not Good
sorry,
Morning America.
GMA.
GMA.
So they were. It was just an advertisement.
OMG GMA.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, exactly. But he's like, "Oh, I won," and I'm like, and of course here's Sean in the morning talking to the TV. I thought it's a 2-player. No one can win, and then I'm like, no one's around.
You didn't win dick.
Yeah,
Well, that means you won that
I know.
argument.
I should have totally tweeted them because they would have read it on air. You guys suck. You don't know how to play games.
They probably wouldn't have.
Oh, that one definitely.
You know what was epic?
Mickey.
COD Blops 2.
God blops. Deuce.
COD Blops Deuce.
Yes.
So Call of Duty Black Ops 2, we can move to that now since it's
Okay.
a lot more enjoyable. What did you
is.
say?
I said okay.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying something. I thought you were shortening it down even more to another. Like it was all one word now.
Kebab.
Kebabs.
Kebabs.
Deuce.
Oh, I like that. That was almost scat there.
Deuce. Oh, well, there's scat involved. Anyway,
MC's cat.
so I enjoyed Black Ops a
forward.
lot, the first game.
Yes, me
and
too.
more so than the regular Modern Warfare or regular Call of Duty,
Agreed.
games. So Black Ops 2, I was kind of looking forward to as far as just that storyline. I wasn't, again, well versed in what was going to go on in this game. I didn't really read a lot about it ahead of time, so I kind of jumped in not knowing where it was going from the first game. But it picks up where you're playing David, I believe is his name, David Mason, which is
Mason. Everybody calls him Mason.
David Mason.
And then you have the
Is
other
he on
Mason.
Mars?
No, he is not. You are playing David Mason, who the game current takes place in 2025, so it's a
Yes.
little bit in the future. And he's the son.
not on Mars.
He's not on Mars. He's on Earth, future Earth. you were playing the son of Alex Mason, who was the character in the main storyline from Black Ops.
Is this a sequel?
It is a sequel. It's 2. Deuce. So the gameplay, the level play,
Yes.
as you go through the campaign, is a mix between the current, which in the game is 2025, and flashing back to playing as your father, Alex Mason, from the first Black Ops game, and Woods and the other guys from that other game.
Yeah.
And kind of playing past missions with them. Again, moving into some actual, like, fictional history.
Yes.
You know, doing things that were actually historic characters like they did in the first Black Ops, and now, and they're changing it around a little bit. But the story goes back and forth, and there's kind of a main villain or enemy that's tying the two timelines together
Bond
as you're
enemy.
finding.
Is it the Time Trapper?
No, it's not.
No.
Not
He's
the
a
Time
very,
Trapper.
He's a
I'm-
very Bondish
I'm concerned
enemy for me.
you're not going to help us. You're only serving to hinder. I picked up on that.
It's his Call of Duty, I guess.
Call of Duty. It is your call.
Answering the call.
I found the levels to be a blast. They were a ton of fun.
Did you complete the game?
I completed the
Okay.
game
Did
proper.
it complete you?
It did. Yeah, a little bit. I think a little bit of me
nice.
was filled in.
Okay, good.
I don't know what part, but a little bit. I really like the villain a lot.
Yeah,
It's an odd kind of take on a villain because he's not necessarily. You are totally right about the Bond thing. It
Yeah.
feels like a Bond almost story because he's not a villain proper where he just wants to kill a bunch of people. There's like a drive behind him.
Yeah.
And it's almost a sympathetic drive. So you can kind of see where he's coming from. And he's not overall like totality, like evil, like, oh, I just want to kill all these people. It's he wants to prove a point.
Yes.
And that was kind of interesting for me. I like that there was a bad guy who was a little complicated, not just black and white, bad guy.
Yeah.
He's still not a good guy though.
No, he's not. It's just not the maniacal boo-ha-ha-ha,
Exactly.
But it's just very...
He's not the villain from. Oh shit! Now I can't remember the driving.
Renegades?
Game. Renegades. Thank you, Renegade Ops.
Renegade Ops, yeah.
I'm glad you're right on top of that. I didn't even have to say anything.
You would have looked like a fool. So the story I loved. I loved the
Yeah.
story. I loved going back and forth between the years, going back into I can't remember, were they the 80s?
It was
I think
like
they were dealing with.
1985.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
and then current day.
Ollie North hanging out.
Noriega's in there.
Yep.
They had
Cool.
in the modern day they have Secretary Petraeus, which I'm going to guess is not going to happen any longer. With all this sex scandal
this
stuff.
is just the future.
Not going to happen now. Maybe at some day.
Well, it's different
know,
world.
it's
This
funny.
is just a different.
It's just funny.
Alternate world.
It's funny when they were making the game, and that probably didn't bank on
No.
a month before the game comes out that this guy's going to be in a big scandal.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was pretty hilarious when it came up. It made me laugh. So
Spoiler.
I did notice they pulled in some of the stuff that they had for multiplayer as far as being able to customize. They pulled that into the campaign now. So at the beginning, before you launch the mission, you kind of get to mess with your loadouts if you want to, and can kind of change it around and customize it your own. That was a little neat aspect for those people who are really into the, I guess it was a good bridge for them to do for the multiplayer if you're kind of accustomed to playing with a certain style and wanting to be able to change that before you go in. I left it the custom or the standard for
so
all
did
of them.
I.
I didn't even mess with it because I don't know enough about the game. But I also didn't get to play any multiplayer because my gold ran out
What?
on Tuesday. It expired on Tuesday,
His real goal.
and so then it was like Thanksgiving. So it's not like I ran out and got it filled again. But
He's got to go back. He's got to
your
go.
coffers.
and I don't do it through Xbox because they're gonna hack my shit if I have to put my credit card on there.
He's got to go back and dig for more gold.
No. Anyway, so I have now gotten my gold back again, so I'm going to try out some multiplayer, and I want to try that zombies out because I know they have the zombie mode in there again, and that's a whole separate multiplayer campaign or option where you go in and do the zombie.
Do you have to purchase that?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's just on there as a different mode you can play. So, and that looks really cool. There's a couple different options for that. As far as I think you can do where you're a team and like fending off the zombies, or you can do where you're two teams and you're kind of working against the zombies, but also sabotaging the other team.
Oh, sure.
So like when they're trying to rescue people, you can kind of screw with them.
Yeah.
I don't think you can kill them, but you can set up things that make it difficult for them to survive.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. But you didn't play too much of the game yet, have you?
I didn't get completely through it because a classic. I mean, first person shooter style for Sean. The same hiccups and problems happen where I have to play through levels and I'm like yelling like, where am I supposed to go? And then I'm like,
Well, that's we talk the chaos of Call of Duty games.
And I finally just went to the options and changed it up and up the audio and turned down some of the stuff so I can hear commands a little bit better. And just learning to play better. And
you took my advice.
But
finally.
But that was the case. Like on some of the missions, it was just like I'd get through it. I'm like, wait a minute, it shouldn't have been that easy. How did it take me so long to realize that's how I was supposed to do? One thing I thought was really nice was the whole like tactical tower defense little aspect to it.
Yeah, so there's these strike missions.
The strike force missions.
Strike force missions that you do that also pop up, which I didn't like at first. I
didn't like it at all.
I'm still a little torn on it,
but
because I don't think they work how they're supposed to work. I think you can really boil them down to just the simple. So they're tactical missions where you get a squad of you have a goal. So either like take over this place or defend this place. Get this key target or defend these spots. And so they give you squads of guys and drones, and you get like air drones. You get that walker thing that shoots everything, and then you get the little Roland droid thing that you can shoot with things. He can shoot as well. But you can take over individual characters. You can switch into any of those other vehicles. You can do any of that stuff and control any of them, or you can do a big overhead map and direct them around and have them defend certain areas. The problem is, while they want you to be really strategic with it, I really just found that I was jumping into one person and just basically playing through the level by myself. Yeah. And I would kind of order my guys to come to this area, but the AI seemed kind of dumb.
Yep.
Like they just run into bullet fire and die.
Oh yeah.
So
watching on the tactical map was almost funny for me a couple different times because I'd set up, defend points, and then you'd see the guys come in and they just run around the corner and then die.
Right.
And I was just like, is anyone shooting or stopping? They're just like, go.
And I think the first time I was like doing that first mission, because the first one they give you, you do have to play it.
Yeah.
And then throughout the game as they come up, they're optional. So they come up as a side mission kind of thing, where you'll only get they'll say like the next couple of missions they're available. After that, you can't play it anymore.
Yep.
So I still went and did them because you do get achievements for them. But once I kind of boiled it down to just playing it by myself, like a one-man crew, it became a lot easier.
Yeah.
But that first one, I jumped out, and I'm like, well, I'll just see what happens. I'll try to, direct the people. And so I'm like, oh, go do this. And the guys are running up, the bad guys are running up, and they come around, and they're sitting there, and I'm like, shoot all those guys. And then they peek around the corner, and they die. Yeah. And I'm like, you're doing nothing, like literally nothing. I don't know if they can take
dying.
They did. They are terrible.
They're filling graves.
They were doing terrible. So once I, took over control of somebody and kind of directed them from the battlefield, because you can still, with the bumper buttons, direct them and like kind of have them all come to a certain area.
Yeah.
So as long as I gave, what essentially I was doing was giving other targets. So they would run in, and the other guys would shoot them, and then I could shoot everybody and not have to worry about them dying. Yeah. Who cares? As long as I can stay alive.
It turned into a weird kind of almost like a multiplayer vibe to it.
It did.
It felt like you were playing a multiplayer
by yourself.
By yourself.
So it had not usurped toy soldiers, is what you're telling me.
No, it did not.
No.
That's a shame.
In multiplayer 2, they do have the bot thing again, where you can play with bots. So, like, the two of us could play a multiplayer game and just play with bots. I think up to level 10, you can earn experience normal, but then after that, you only earn it like half speed or something. But I think before they cut you off, you could only go up through level 10, and then you had to go with the big boys and play with other annoying people.
Yes.
And I think now, though, you can continue to play. You just level up at a slower rate. So, which is nice. That's a nice option. Game looks fantastic. It sounds awesome. The sound is amazing. Yes. I love all the future tech that they have going on. There's a big, heavy emphasis on drone type things, like the drone planes and the drone attacks. The future stuff is just really cool. There's some really cool weaponry in there.
Yep.
Getting that sniper rifle that shoots through walls and shit is awesome. Yeah. It's just taking dudes out.
I like the back and forth. I like the connection with the other game. And this time around, I just really have this vibe of what's happening. Where the other games, I've kind of felt like, oh, we're just going after a bad guy. Where like for some reason, it just seems like the story really works with the flashbacks.
I agree.
Before, I thought the flashbacks almost kind of took away from the story. And this time around, I just really feel like they work with it. And I don't know. And it gets pretty graphic. There is some pretty. There's a couple parts. I mean, they're torturing this one guy. And I was just like, ah, jeez.
Yikes.
For leaving.
Voice acting is awesome. It's creepy that they have the faces of the voice actors in there.
Yeah, that is a little
Because like Michael Rooker's one of them.
Yeah, but he looks young.
But he looks like Michael. But then they gave him hair.
But he looks like young. He looks like a young Mike. Yeah,
it's creepy.
Like from his I forgot that movie.
And then Candyman's in there.
Yep.
Not the black guy.
But he looks Candyman. I mean, he looks like old Candyman.
He's like your main general or your whoever he is. I can't remember. Admiral, whatever he is.
Akbar.
No, he's not Akbar. But you know they have the voice actor, and then he looks like exactly like him.
Yep.
I'm like, that's creeping me out. But it's cool. Well done.
Yeah.
Anything else you got on it?
No.
I'm
going to play some more. I want to finish it out.
And I still want to jump into multiplayer.
I dig the story. You know, I like the vibe from it. So, yeah, definitely. Hopefully finish it out.
Yeah, I thought it was a blast.
Plus, like, some of the missions were, like, really nice, like, 20, 30-minute missions.
That's another big thing for me.
They were really, they just felt very nice.
Nothing
like,
dragged on.
Yeah.
Although you get to the end and some of those are kind of pissing you off.
Well, I can imagine. I mean, it should piss me off.
Shit gets crazy.
It's me just shooting at the ground. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I just can't.
I hate you, Earth.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Exactly. It's just like if I would love people to be like a metal detector after me. It'd be like, geez, look at this. Oh, there's all bullets. There's all of this. That's how
in case you get lost.
That's how you track me. You just follow the bullets. Because half the time I'm like looking at the ground. I mean, but that's my problem with the first person shooter. But this, for some reason, the Black Ops, the Blops, it's got me.
The Blops. The Blops got you.
The Blops got me.
When the Blops got you, you know it.
Yep, the COD Blops have you.
I just think it's a more impressive storyline. Like that was my thing with the first one.
Yeah.
It's like I just think it's interesting. Yep. So.
And I love the whole mix-up. I love the mix-up of play. Like you go to, like you can call in an airstrike, and then it turns into like almost like a fun.
Where you take it over.
Yeah, it's not a bad turret section. It's a cool turret section. You know that kind of stuff's neat. And then you get an RPG, and you're just taking out helicopters, and it's that kind of little aspects, the big movie type vibe to it, without really just killing me left and right like all the other games did. Any of the other previous Call of Duty games,
you couldn't handle it.
No, because that was like real war stuff, and you get shot once and you're dead type of stuff, and it's like I need to get
I hate realism.
hit like 4 times, couple, and some of them are you get a headshot on you, you're down. Because I'll be like looking up, and then my guy's just dead. I'm like, well, I guess he got my head.
Awesome.
You need a periscope.
Yeah, I do. Like a cardboard one.
Make it out of a shoebox.
You know it.
Are we good, gentlemen? Are we done with that?
I don't know.
great.
You want me to explain how to make a periscope out of a shoebox?
No, maybe in an extra episode.
Okay.
Bonus episode.
Bonus. The Mr. Wizard episode.
Your new science cast.
Oh, Mr. Wizard, that was a great show.
Was it?
It was.
It was pretty good.
It was.
Okay, nerds. Signedinpodcast.com is our website. Please go to there to find links to our Facebook fan page, our Twitter page, which is Signed In Podcast. That is me on Twitter. Sean is on Twitter at
Shonix.
And Craig is on Twitter at
The Pullist.
There you go. You can also find links to all of our past episodes, our forums, and all the other Suda radio shows, including The Pull List and 3 Die Block, right?
Yes.
That's a show still, right?
Yes, it is.
You guys still do that?
Correct.
Cool. Comments at signedinpodcast.com is our web. No, that's not our website. That's our email address. You know what? I will say, end of the year's coming up.
That's right.
We will probably have our favorite best of 2012.
I love your last second hedging there. We will probably.
I know how to cover my ass with the best of them. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, something could happen. Yeah.
So we probably will, most likely. Probably. Maybe. Most likely, definitely,
maybe.
Probably. So if you have your own list of favorites from 2012 and things you're looking forward to in 2013, you can email us starting now. Just send us an email at comments at signedinpodcast.com, and we probably will share them on the show.
Might.
For the 3rd episode in a row, I'm promising contests.
Sweet.
So there you go. We'll probably have some contests
next episode.
Sometime.
I thought you were going to give them contests right now.
No, not right now. Sorry.
Christmas contests.
They will be coming up. How about that? Promise.
You're saving them for the holidays.
Promise, maybe. Next episode, I am currently in the middle of all. In addition to everything I played this last episode here that we were talking about, I'm also playing Hitman Absolution right now. and Lego Lord of the Rings. So I will
Nice.
have those definitely to talk about next
Excellent.
episode. But I just dove into those, so and they're both awesome. So there you go.
Sweet.
Spoiler.
I'm going to try to finish up Trailer Park King 3 Double D this week.
You gonna get to that?
No.
No. Teaser.
Definitely gonna try to put Assassin's Creed in my Xbox to see if
Good.
it
I'd love to
works.
hear.
It
how
might
you
not
take
even
that.
work. Who knows?
It could be a faulty disc that you've been pulling. You just don't even know.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be
We're
awesome.
keeping that off the market.
It's gonna be a nice surprise. Do
service.
you get any Avatar awards on that game?
No, I don't believe so.
Darn it.
Sorry.
That would
Yes,
really-
you do.
Oh, then I'm just trying it
You
out.
do as long as you play 5 hours.
Oh.
Yep. It's at the end.
End of 5 hours. It's a clock.
Finale.
See.
You can't just let it play. You have to actually 5 hours of gameplay.
Oh.
Wink. And also Far Cry 3.
I've been hearing fun things about that.
I've heard the good things as well. That comes out in a week or two, so I'm gonna take a look at that too.
Yep.
Maybe. This whole
Possibly.
last 3 minutes is me just covering my ass.
Possibly.
You never know.
I might even play Halo 4. No.
I doubt that.
The skeleton guy looks pretty cool.
What skeleton guy?
I don't know. They show it on the ads.
I don't watch the ads.
I know you don't. You don't watch commercials. But you played the game, so I'd hope you saw a skeleton guy at least.
I don't see a skeleton guy
All right.
that I know of.
We should end that.
Are we done?
I think
I
so.
am.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
Later.
Bye.